How do you make $100,000 when you're in your 20s, 30s? You can at any age. How do you make $100,000? In this video, I'm going to talk to you guys about exactly how I would do that, starting from zero. If I had zero skills, zero knowledge, zero mentors, I'm going to tell you exactly how I would do that and how you guys can do the exact same thing if you're willing to work hard and willing to put in a lot of hours, because that's what it's going to take. It takes a lot of time to generate that type of money, at least when you're first getting started. When you don't have any skills, you're going to have to just work your butt off, man. That's how it works. You got to pay your dues, right? So I'm not going to waste your time in this video, guys. I'm going to jump right into it. I would start off with 3 jobs. There's nothing sexy about it. It just is what it is. I guarantee you this will make you over $100,000 if you're willing to work hard. If you're one of these people who's going to think that there's this, magic pill or magic product you can just find on Alibaba and just drop ship that on, Shopify, like all these gurus and people will tell you you can do, and just make millions of dollars by not really having any skills. This is not the right video for you. This is real life advice from someone who's had to grind, someone who has started from zero, someone who doesn't have, a rich mom and dad who's going to give them money every single day. If you're starting like I did, and like everybody else probably who's listening to this video, then you're going to have to go out there every single day and get after it. That's just all there is to it. There's nothing sexy about it. There's no, sexy headline on YouTube or thumbnail that I can post that's going to, articulate the fact that you just have to work your butt off for a long time, stack as much money as you possibly can, learn skills, and ultimately get that money working for you. That's how you build wealth. That's how you become very successful in life. That's how you become a high earner, right? You're not always going to have to work this hard, but by you working this hard, you're going to stack up money and you're going to stack up the skill set that it's going to take for you to then go and earn, 200K, 300K, 500K a year. The skills that you develop when you're at the bottom are what translates into you being able to earn that type of income later in your life. So that being said, again, I'm going to jump right down into this, guys. 3 different jobs you should have if you're a young dude in your 20s who doesn't have any kids. Maybe you're single. If you're in this period of your life, man, you need to maximize this, because this is a unique period where you don't have expenses, big expenses. You don't have responsibility. You don't have a family just yet. You don't have a wife who's, needs you to spend all this time with her. You don't have kids that you got to drop them off at their baseball games and all this different stuff, man. You have a window of time to where you can grind. You can really hustle. You can get after it. So you need to be willing to sacrifice for a few years at least to put yourself ahead for life, so you're not having to struggle and worry about money when you're 30, 40, 50 years old. You want to be the guy who busted his ass when he's in his 20s, and then by the time he turns 30, 35, he's already got a lot of momentum. He's already got a few $100,000 saved up. He's already got a good career. He's already got good skills in the bank, basically, that he can draw upon and continue to build upon moving into, the second half of his life. That's what you want to do. You want to build up skills and experience, right? So that being said, we're going to jump right into it. First job you need to have, and again, keep this all in mind, that you don't have to work these jobs forever, guys. You can do this for 6 months. You can do this for 1 year. You can do this for 10 years, right? However long you want to make this money, man, this is what you need to do, at least to start off, and at least if you don't have any skills. This is exactly what I would do. I would go get a sales job, right? You can be selling cars. You can be in a retail job where you're selling supplements, any type of job to where you're able to speak to people and sell. I would absolutely go get that kind of job. If you can't do that, go get an office job, right? Do anything, sell insurance, work in a marketing agency for 40, 50 grand a year. Do whatever you got to do. Get some kind of job, some kind of 9 to 5, where you're working normal business hours inside of an office, ideally, so you're not just busting your back outside doing construction. However, that will work. You're just going to be exhausted when you're done. But get some kind of 9 to 5 job. Again, it doesn't even matter what it is. Get some kind of job. You can be working in a mechanic shop. You can be working in an office. You can be a teacher. It literally does not matter. Working in a hair salon, working at Walmart. It does not matter. Get some kind of 9 to 5 job to where you can put in 8 hours of work. Ideally, something to where you can be sitting down because you don't want to be on your feet all day long, ideally. Do some kind of job to where you can make 40, 50 grand a year doing that. I guarantee you can do that. There's all kinds of jobs like that out there. You just have to display your value when you speak to these people about getting hired, or ideally get into some kind of commission sales role. If you're a decent communicator, you're going to make 50 grand a year doing that. I promise you. It's not that complicated. You can do this. I promise you, you can. I would get some kind of job to where you're able to sit down, ideally. Maybe again, maybe you're working Walmart, you're doing extra shifts, whatever it might be. Work 9 to 5 with some kind of job that's going to be your kind of your base layer of work and income. Right. So that's your 9 to 5. Now your 5:30 to 9 o'clock p.m. So after you get done working your job, again, let's just say it's Walmart. You're working extra shifts. You're busting your ass doing that. You may not make 50 grand a year. Maybe you make 30 grand a year. Who knows? You're going to make some kind of money, is my point. After you get done doing that, at 5 o'clock, you're going to work as a bartender or a server. And you're going to do that from 5 o'clock to 9 o'clock. So you're going to do that for a 4 hour shift. This was one of the jobs that I had. It was honestly the best job I ever had, ever. The best part-time job I could ever ask for. One of the things that it's going to do for you, it's going to help you become a better communicator. You're going to learn how to communicate with people, how to make friends, how to start up conversations with people. It's going to help you meet girls. It's going to help you in all aspects of your life. It's going to help you learn how to sell because you're teaching people, or you're talking to them about different products you might have at a restaurant, or you're talking about, the drink they want to get at the bar. That's all sales is, guys. It's just talking to people, making friends. That's all it is, right? So you're going to get some kind of job like this to where you're able to be a bartender or a server, right? If you're a single dude, you're going to meet some people doing this anyway. So it's going to give a 2-in-1 when it comes to that. And you're going to be able to make pretty good tips if you're just a personable, likable guy who has a smile on his face and works hard. That's all there is to it. I used to walk into I used to work at O'Charlie's, which if you guys live in the Midwest, you probably know what that is. It's like a little American restaurant. It's pretty dang good. I used to work there for like 3 years, man, and I would do it part time. I would go in right about 5 o'clock, I think. Maybe it was like four, but I forget exactly when. But I would do like a 4 or 5 hour shift every single night, and I was a server. And I would clock in and I'd walk out with $200, like almost every single night. I'd walk out with $200 after like 4 hours of work. And this isn't some crazy upscale restaurant, guys. This is like a regular freaking it's a regular spot. It's nothing sexy about it with O'Charlie's. But my point is, I would walk out of there with like 200, $150 in cash every single night after just doing it part-time. Amazing part-time job, guys. It made me a better communicator. I met a lot of friends. And it helped me develop my skill set of just talking to people, which is the most valuable skill set you can ever have, guys. Work as a bartender and a server part time, either one, bartender, server, work at a bar, whatever you got to do some kind of job to where you can get tips doing that. And so you're going to be working your 9 to 5 job, and then from 5 to 9 you're going to be a bartender slash server, either one. I guarantee you'll make at least 30 grand a year doing that. Sometimes you'll make, 40, 50 grand a year, depending upon where you live. If you live in Nashville, where you're doing this on Broadway, man, you can make six figures just doing that. It's crazy. There's some people that make so much money doing that. Or people who live in Vegas. Oh my gosh, man, people make two, 300 grand sometimes working as like a bartender in some of these giant bars, man. You don't need to do all that. My point is, you can absolutely make 36 grand a year as a server or bartender if you just work your ass off every single day. And same thing with your original job, your 9 to 5. You can make 50 grand a year. You can find a way to make that happen. I guarantee you could find a way to make that happen. You can definitely make 40 grand a year. Just work hard and bust your ass and find something to where you can do, occupy your time during the day, make 40K. Then after that, you're going to go work, at a server, bartender, whatever it might be, make 36K doing that. And then after you log off there at your restaurant job, whatever it might be, a bar, you're going to go from 9 o'clock to 12 o'clock, midnight. You're going to be doing DoorDash slash Uber. That's what you're going to do. I guarantee you can make an extra 24K a year doing that, right? And that's what I used to do. I used to have a marketing company. I wasn't really making any money, but I used to have a marketing company that was trying to get going. I would work on that all day long. And then, once 4 or 5, 6 o'clock, again, I don't remember when it was, but once that time would roll around, I would go clock into O'Charlie's for, 4 or 5 hours. And then after I got done with O'Charlie's, I would go DoorDash. right? I never did Uber, but it's the exact same thing. DoorDash, Uber from 9 o'clock as soon as you get off work to 12 o'clock. And then I guarantee you'll make an extra two, maybe $3,000 a month doing that if you just hustle and you work really hard doing that and you do it 7 days a week, right? And then you've got 9 hours until you clock in the next day, right? So this is a strategy you guys can employ. Again, there's nothing sexy about it. It's just working your butt off. This is a strategy you guys can employ to make $100,000 a year, which is far more than the average American. And if you just work your ass off and do this for, 2, 3 years, I guarantee you, man, you're gonna have so much money saved up. You're gonna be head and shoulders above your. I was gonna say your competitors, and I guess they are your competitors, but your peers, man, all the people who are you grew up with and might be talking shit to you, man. You're gonna be making way more money than those people, right? And if you do this in your 20s, if you do this when you're 18, 19, 20, dude, everybody can do that, man. Where this gets difficult is when you have kids and when you have a family, you have a serious girlfriend that all take up time. But when you're a young dude and you don't have any of those responsibilities, man, you can go get after it and do this shit all day long, especially when you're in your early 20s, man. I'm telling you, if I didn't have any skills and I was just fresh out the womb and I was just wanting to make some money, this is exactly what I would do. I would get some kind of sales job, ideally, during the day. Guarantee you can make 40, 50 grand a year doing that. Go get some kind of server slash bartender job. Guarantee you can make 36K a year doing that. And go get some kind of DoorDash Uber gig to where you can do that at night when all the drunk people are ordering food and wanting to be, driven around. You can make an extra 24K a year doing that. And I promise you, if you do that, man, you'll make over six figures, right? And how long you get to do this? As long as you want. You can do this for 4 or 5 years if you want and stack it up. And then after that, you can just work one of these jobs, or maybe you're working on a side hustle outside of all that and you get a business going, or you have a nice little nest egg and you can quit your jobs and then go all in on your business. This is how it works, guys. You got to pay your dues. You got to work your ass off. There's no way around it, right? And the sooner you can jump into doing stuff like this, it's going to equip you for the rest of your life. It's going to help you make a lot more money. You're going to be able to invest, and you're not always going to have to work this hard, right? And then you can get money working for you, and then you can get assets, and then you can start making passive income. That's how this goes. That's how this goes, guys. So I promise you, if you do this, you will be very well off, especially if you're in your early 20s. It doesn't matter what age you are, but I promise you, if you do this, you're going to be in very good shape. Come, 12, 18, 24 months from now, you're going to be very happy you put your head down and worked this hard. So anyway, guys, hope this helps you guys out. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. I love you. Let me know what videos I should do next. I'd love to get your feedback on whether or not this is helpful. If it's not, I'd love to hear your thoughts. So, love you guys. Cheers.